Our small environmental consultancy from regional Queensland has just won a major sustainability award for the second year in a row.
If you run a small business, especially in a regional location, this episode will change the way you think about opportunity. Today, I'm speaking with Bronwyn Reid, multi-award-winning co-founder of 4T Consultants, who has spent decades helping small businesses win work with government and major companies. Bronwyn's here to share what you need to know, not just to survive as a small business owner, but to grow. And now, here's Bronwyn Reid. Hello, Bronwyn. Thank you so much for your time today.
It's always a pleasure to have a chat to you.
I want to get right into it because you've got so much value to bring to small business owners, especially in regional areas. And my first question is, that you're known for being a champion for regional businesses, but where did your own business journey really start?
Okay. Before I just start that, I'm going to share that for the second year in a row, our small environmental consultancy from regional Queensland has just won a major sustainability award for the second year in a row. So
I love it. Congratulations.
My lesson for that is, and the reason I mention it right up front is because a lot of regional business owners don't think that we can compete with, one, our big competitors, and two, urban-based businesses. It's not a fluke that we've won it 2 years in a row now, flying the flag for regional Queensland. So just thought I'd put that right up there up front.
Love it.
For me, my business journey started because I come from a long line of self-employed farmers where mother and father are in business together. So as a agribusiness-based family, I spent a lifetime being a small supplier to very, very big organizations. I worked in corporate for many years. For my sins, I married an agronomist and we spent 10 years wandering the world, mostly with his job in underdeveloped countries. We then returned to Australia after our first child was born and set up our business here. We weren't doing what we're doing now back then, but we had always been on the train of bringing sustainable practices to business owners now, whether that was in oil palm plantations in the South Pacific or timber plantations in Africa, or what we're doing back here. The underlying theme hasn't changed. So we set up our business, 4T Consultants, which stands for Technology Transfer Through Training. And that was almost 30 years ago.
So yes, you're certainly not new to the scene.
No, we're not.
The experience is there, that's for sure.
The business started out mostly with working with agribusiness and gradually morphed until today. The majority of our revenue does come from the mining sector, but we still work with agribusiness. We work with all levels of government, and we also work with general industry. So that's the potted history.
Mm. It's a massive, massive thing. Was there a particular moment in your life where you realized I can build something that lasts, or was it just because of your upbringing you always thought long term like that? How did that sort of settle into, as you say, you've done the work in underdeveloped countries. There's sort of short term projects, and then coming back to build 4T Consultants.
It was always going to be, Joe. My wonderful husband, who's my life partner and business partner, whom you also know.
Yes.
We were always going to set up our own business because he comes from a similar background to me in a family business where, the parents were in business together. So it was never going to be anything else. So it was just a question of where and when, and it happened to be back here in Australia in the area where I grew up, doing an environmental consultancy. But out of that has grown my second business as well, Joe.
Which I'm definitely keen to get to. Where are you actually physically located for 4T Consultants? Just to give people an idea of regional Australia.
In Emerald, in central Queensland.
Yep.
Which, if you want directions, if you know where Brisbane is, go north for 8 hours, turn left and drive for 3 hours.
There you go. Simple. So you have built success well away from cities. Yes. What strengths do you think that regional businesses underestimate in themselves?
So many. I hardly know where to start. But
top couple.
Community, a sense
Yeah.
of community. To be perfectly honest, I've just been over and had my nails done this morning. And another local business owner was also in the salon having her nails done. Now her business is much bigger than mine, but we had a great old chat about business and the aspects of doing business in regional business. A real community, certainly lifestyle. The fact that I could literally walk across the road and have my nails done. Getting in a car and driving through traffic and traffic lights and things. Brilliant place to bring up children. Absolutely amazing. Because I grew up in the country, I always said that I wanted my children to have a totally forgetful childhood, a totally forgettable child.
I love that. It's perfect.
I was never hot. I was cold. I was never hurt. I was never hungry. And that's what I wanted for my children. And that's what we could give them by living here. And we didn't miss out on anything. They got piano lessons and gymnastics and football.
And no lack of networking opportunities in business. You walk across the road and get the nails done and you've got gold right there. Yeah, that's fantastic. So regional businesses, beyond the lifestyle, is there anything you would say that regional businesses do better than metropolitan businesses?
Connection.
Yes,
Connection. We're also a lot closer. Now, I'll give you an example. In our environmental consultancy, 40 consultants, obviously things happen. There's floods and well, in our case, it's mostly floods is the biggest emergency.
Yes, in our case, it's cyclones.
In your case, it's cyclones.
Yes.
In other places, it's fire.
Yeah.
For us, when our clients have an issue, something's happened, they need to release water or something's going on, they phone us, we're there. We guarantee that we're going to be there.
Excellent. Yes.
It's part of our guarantee. So while our large competitor in Brisbane, Sydney or Melbourne is trying to get a purchase order to get an air ticket to get to the airport, fly to Brisbane, get to Emerald Airport and hire a car and get to site, we've been there. We've done it.
Yes.
We've come home, we've had a cup of tea.
Job done. I love that.
Job done.
That is fantastic. So, rethinking your position of your business as an advantage rather than a disadvantage, I think is
100%. Yes.
very, very useful. You've also helped countless small businesses win work with major organisations and government. What's the biggest misconception you would say that small businesses have about winning those kinds of contracts?
Too hard. The next part of that is, yes, it is hard, but it's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
If it was easy, because the rewards are there, everyone would be doing it. It's too hard. There's actually three big misconceptions, and I call them the three disconnects. One is we can't get on their radar. We can't get them to look at us. Number two is their requirements are too complex.
Mm-hmm.
That's the too hard piece. Number three is it costs too much time and money to put in place what they need, the systems they need, the policies they need, et cetera, et cetera. So they're the three big disconnects. And the funny thing is that the company that they're trying to work with has exactly the same problems. But from the other point of view.
That one, yeah.
From the other point of view.
Okay.
So where we say, they don't look at us, we're invisible. And the big company will say, yes, you are. You haven't got a website. You're not on social media. You haven't approached us. You're not being at the tender sites. So that's number one. Number two, the too hard piece. Yes, there are requirements. And the reason for that is that big companies have big customers with big money. There's a lot of money involved in big contracts. They have supply chains that they have to make work. They have to maintain integrity. So they cannot afford to have you as the weak link in the chain.
That makes sense. Yes.
That's why they ask for all these things. The last one is it costs too much time and money to put it all in place. Yes, it is work. And I am not the person that's going to come to you and say, hey, sign up with me and you'll be turning over $300,000 next month and it'll all be fine. No, there is work to do. But if you do the work, it does not have to cost squillions. And I will guarantee that your business will be a better business.
That is cool. You did write a book on this, didn't you? You better put the name of the book out.
Yeah.
What's the book title? This one?
big business.
That's right. Small company, big business. I just thought it's worth mentioning that because, yes, while you're, 4T Consultants is the award-winning company, you are doing some very good work with helping other businesses win these contracts and make those connections. So your book is a really
That
good
book,
way for people to start if people just want to have a
exactly,
taste of your work.
because I didn't have that book, and I made all the mistakes, and
Exactly.
I've wasted all the time, and I wasted all the money.
Yes.
So that is that's my collected knowledge from all the
Mm.
mistakes that I made. So
I'll definitely put a link in the description to that. Thinking back to 4T Consultants and winning awards again, since winning the award, has anything changed like internally? Does it change how the business sees itself?
yeah, it does. We so last year we were recognised as one of Australia's great places to work.
Nice.
That one was awesome to me. Because and when you win awards like that, it is truly a sense of pride in the team that
Mm,
our little team from regional Queensland has been able to take out a major national award. No, not international.
well done.
So yes, it does. It makes a very big difference to the team culture, and that's something that we are really, really, really big on is team culture.
Yeah. And then this recent award.
Well, it's only happened a couple of days ago, so nothing's
Yes.
happened yet.
Still sinking in.
Well, I've got the social media outsource workers working on that, so we'll be out spreading that.
Get it out. Get it out.
Get it
It's
out there.
fantastic news. Yes.
The other thing is, Judd,
Yes.
and I've had this from somebody who evaluates tenders within a very large mining company. You can put in your tender that you have won this national award. That does help.
Yes, it's that social proof, I guess, isn't it? In a
Social proof.
more
And
professional way.
Yeah, they can see that an independent panel of judges has actually assessed your business
Mm.
and found it to be worthy of an award.
So it's a very useful thing for any business owner listening. We all know social proof on your ads and blogs of customers who have used your product because independent as we would like to think ourselves, we still, if you're going to go to a restaurant, you tend to look up the reviews first. So we do wonder. Awards, again, are another level in a more professional capacity. It's the way I would explain it. So good for retail on your site. But as you say, when you're going to put a tender in, definitely include that you've had that recognition because it just lifts the perception of the business immediately.
Absolutely does. And if you
Fantastic.
can show that as a small regional company, we can show that we've won a major national award, that maybe they will look past our large multinational competitors.
Mm.
Okay? Yeah.
If it just gets the attention, gets the eyes to flick over in that direction to your tender.
Exactly.
Very, very good. So you've been in business for decades, and I just think it's fantastic. So many people, to stick at stuff is not an easy feat, and all credit to you. A lot of people can't or don't. And part of why I do these conversations is to encourage people not just to keep going, but to keep building and keep growing. You've seen downturns, disasters, some fairly massive industry shifts, I would imagine. What keeps you going?
Purpose. It's easy. It's an easy answer to that is purpose. Our whole time living and working overseas was about purpose. As I said, technology transfer through training, being here to make a difference, and that's transferred through to 40 here in Australia. We believe that we all have a right to use our natural resources. The managers of our natural resources do have a right to do that, but only with good stewardship. We're here to help them do that, and obtain that production, whatever it is that they need, with the least environmental impact that we can manage.
I think it's such an important purpose too. To me, I know enough of you and have seen, your interactions with family, and to know that your heart is just so nurturing. You are all about making sure that everybody is loved and safe and warm and
Really
cared for. Yeah, absolutely. It's what I see as a theme in everything that you do, who you are, your essence. And I see this in the purpose of 4T Consultants too. As you say, yes, use the resources, but steward them well and make sure, that the planet's looked after in the process. obviously you're doing it well enough that it's award winning. Congratulations. And that purpose does definitely keep us going, doesn't it? I listen to the Moonshots guys. No secret, I'm a big fan of Peter Diamondi's Moonshots podcast and their 10X approach. And they talk about having a massive transformational purpose because it is what keeps you going in the tough times.
So that's the big underlying purpose, and our part in that as 4T consultants is to provide scientifically rigorous, accurate, replicable and reliable data and information.
It's very, very good. A lot of feel-good climate stuff going on, but you've got it grounded in the data and the good practices.
Exactly. Yeah. Because those decision makers who are making those big decisions about our natural resources cannot make accurate decisions without accurate data and information.
Exactly.
And there's too much at stake for them commercially if they don't have data that they could actually stand up in court and say, yep, this is right.
That matters completely, doesn't it? Being able to, when I say defend your position, I don't mean in a negative way. I mean, like people would defend a thesis.
Yes.
Being able to stand on what you've done and explain very clearly why and back it. So would you say that there have been any like big or small mistakes that you've made along the way that you look back and go,
how long have we got?
That you're willing to share?
We took too long. When the mining industry downturn came in 2012-13, we did take too long to trim. And in fact, we really didn't trim. We only ever put off one person.
I can imagine it's the last thing you'd want to be doing, knowing you. It's a hard decision.
Other people left and went, left of their own accord to take other positions. But we did leave that too long and chewed into our cash reserves far too much. That's probably the biggest one, the biggest mistake that we've made in business.
I think often we have an inkling that we should do something in business, and maybe emotionally we don't want to make that decision. Like, as you say, you don't want to be putting anybody off from their job. So it is something to leave until tomorrow or just think about next week. But yes, in the meantime, your cash flow is being hit by that.
The real irony is, of course, that I had set the company up. Given my background, I knew that commodities boom and bust.
Yes, of course.
I knew it.
So you know.
I'd been through it before. I had actually set the company up, with vehicles and so that we could actually downsize or even close really quickly. But when I was in the spotlight, didn't do it.
It's like, damn. Yeah, I don't think you're alone on that, but I think it's a good thing to highlight, again, for anyone listening, if there's a difficult decision that you're putting off, go and get a glass of water and sit down and think that one through and make the decision in the way that you need to.
Give me a call.
Or call Bronwyn and she'll coach you through it. That's right. That was my next question. If a small business owner sort of wants to grow but feels stuck, where should they begin? I'm thinking the natural answer is probably to call you, but also beyond that.
Well, obviously I'm going to say read my 3 books.
Yes.
Because a lot of what I've learned is contained in them.
Yes.
I also believe, Jo, that there's no use. You know so much about your product and your services and what you do. That's no good to anybody when you depart the scene.
Oh, well said.
And exactly the same as all the mistakes that I've done, that I've made, the lessons I've learned are no good to anybody if I depart the scene. So that's one of the reasons I put them in a book.
Yes.
In books. So my first recommendation is grab the books. If you would like. If listeners to Jo's podcast would like a complimentary e-copy, please just contact me. I presume you have show notes. I will happily share a copy of them with your listeners.
Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you.
Otherwise, just give me a call.
I'll definitely put that in there. I think too, your specialties, because, regional Australia in Emerald, to create a business that competes on a national level with the big boys is no small feat. So really impressive that you've done that, and that not only you've done it, but you run it in a way that looks after your employees as well. winning awards for being a great place to work. Again, well done. That's fantastic.
Oh, Joe, seriously, we spend so much of our time at work.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
I
there's
may
been
as well
times
enjoy it.
when it seriously has not been fun.
Yeah.
It's not been fun being a business owner. But
So for regional business owners, what do you think that they don't hear often enough?
you can.
Well said.
You can.
2 words. I like that. You can.
There's also still this, what do I call it? Protestant work ethic thing going on in the
Yes.
background that got to be hard work. You've got to be a slave with your nose to the grindstone, and you if you're not working hard, and if you're not miserable,
You must pay for that success. You must pay
exactly,
quickly.
exactly right. I completely reject that. Yes, it's hard work. If you don't want some hard work, please don't sign up as a small business owner.
Total. Well said.
But it can also be fun, and you can also do good.
Yeah. I'm going to run through a couple of sort of short questions that I just think will be very helpful for our listeners. The first one is, what's the biggest mistake small businesses make when trying to land bigger clients?
Believing that they can't.
Yes. Okay. So as you said before, that is the nutshell. And what's one habit that has helped you stay in business for decades?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'm tempted to say get up out of bed and drive to the office.
I think that's a damn good habit. Get up.
That's one habit. Always trying to be positive. Now, again, I'm not superwoman. There are days it's just really, really tough, but trying to look on the good side
Mm.
every single day.
I think it really helps. I always remember, I think it was Marie Forleo talking about her Italian mama saying everything is figure-outable, and that stuck
Right.
with me. I often have that on the whiteboard, and it just helps you go, okay, there is a way through this. Just find it, not get stumped. So,
The other thing that I think has been very helpful, and a lot of the businesses that you'll be talking to, and a lot of businesses that I talk to are family businesses. Ian and I have now been in business together for almost 30 years. Couldn't have done it without that partnership. Seriously, couldn't have done it without that partnership. And I know, you work very closely with Mike.
yeah.
Yeah, that's big for me.
Yeah, I think each other's strengths are very, very good. For me, I know that Michael is far more logical and just a born problem solver. So he will get to the heart of an issue like lightning. It's actually a great time saver, even if sometimes I don't want to hear the answer.
So that's how you keep him.
Yes,
He saves you time.
he does save me time. Time productivity hack. That's right. So I was going to ask you about biggest lessons I learnt the hard way. I'm thinking not putting people off when you should have probably is right up there. So the other thing I wanted to ask you about was, if you were to say 3 things that a small business should stop doing, do 3 things come to mind?
3 things a business should stop doing. Number one, I've already mentioned, is that thinking that unless it's really, 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 really hard, you're not doing it right.
Mm. Yes, can be hard to shake that one off, that's for sure.
It actually, because we're taught it, like
Yes,
from little children. That's
yes.
what we're taught. Not. I'm just trying to think of the words to put around this. Not. Oh, believing that they're infallible, I think, is what. And this is where I get into the whole risk management thing.
Mm.
If
A
you get
massive thing
into
too.
small business, you're
Yes.
naturally an optimist. And our optimistic nature can be an enemy because we believe that the bad things won't happen to us. The cyclone, it won't come. It won't come where I'm living.
Right.
It'll go to Cairns, or it'll go to Mackay, or
Even as you watch it dogleg down straight at you, you go, no, it'll move.
it'll be okay. Or
Fine.
I won't get divorced.
Mm.
1 in 3 Australian marriages ends in divorce. So there's a 1 in 3 chance there that your business is going to be completely disrupted.
And that can cause all sorts of chaos. Yes.
Oh, really? You mean
Mm.
I've got to break up the business? You mean, or your business partner gets cancer,
Mm.
or your business partner's wife gets cancer, or your child is taken ill. These are all things that happen to families every single day. And so many small business owners plough blithely on thinking it's not going to happen to them.
Risk management sounds like such a clinical corporate term until you put it that way.
Yeah, risk management and safety management. The risk management industry and the safety management industry have made them into dirty words.
And I think it's at odds with business owners who are often working on self-improvement at the same time and listening to all the mindset podcasts, which is fantastic, as long as it doesn't lead you to ignore, as you say, planning for what could happen. You know, the old, I
That
don't
was
want to
my
think
second
about that because I don't want to create it, but hello.
That was my second book.
Pull it up. Let's have a look. Small company, big crisis. Yes, I'll link separately to each of the where you can buy these. It's very, very good. The way you write too is very approachable, by the way.
Yeah, this was my attempt to take risk management and business resilience out of corporate speak.
And I love the way you do it because, again, you're such a warm human being full of love, you know, for people and passion for getting things right. It's certainly not, you know, you're not a doom and gloom person, and yet you're able to talk about these things in a way that helps people take action and protect themselves and care for themselves. You know, it's a very good ground that you're breaking there that way.
I'll tell you something about that book. I actually wrote it, started writing it before COVID. And
timing, huh?
Well, I actually pulled off publishing it because I felt a little bit icky. It could be interpreted that I was saying, oh, well, you know, you should have planned for this.
Taking advantage of the situation too, yes.
Yeah.
Which is not your way. That's right.
So it didn't get published until 2022. I got over myself.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you put it out.
Really, really, really need to know this. So this is my attempt at demystifying how to make your business resilient.
So I guess what I'm learning from this conversation is winning contracts with big business or government is so much more than thinking about generating a capability statement, you know.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the angles that you've brought into play here. Mindset, you know, knowing that there's nothing wrong with being a regional business. In fact, there are a lot of things that are advantages to that for your business and for your family.
Yeah.
And then pitching in for the awards because they do bring that credibility layer to some procurement manager who doesn't know you and you want to get their attention on the tender with a bit of what I would call social proof in a professional capacity. Sticking with it, having a sense of mission that carries you through the rough times because you're going to need it, planning for what you will do in a variety of rough times because you may need it, which none of us want to think about, but I think it's very, very good that you've brought that up. Really good.
It's not if the next business crisis comes to visit you, it's just when.
There are always going to be challenges in some form, aren't they? Some form. Yes. I was actually listening to Jensen Huang, NVIDIA, talk about the story of NVIDIA yesterday. Massive origin story where literally the world would be a different place if some guy hadn't agreed to give him $5 million when he hadn't followed through on the contract and didn't know if he would succeed in any way still and would probably likely fail. But the guy still backed him. You know, so there are those times when we're really at a moment where the business could fold or continue. And if that's happening to anybody listening here, please know that you're not alone, because I think if you think everybody else is succeeding and confident and shiny and you're not, it's very easy to pack it in, when really it just might need that you just need to pull one lever somewhere and it gives your business the air it needs to fight another day and then absolutely find the success that you're looking for. So definitely
don't believe all the Facebook and Instagram stories.
Absolutely not. So I like, you know, your encouragement just that you can, summing it up in 2 words, you can, is brilliant. I think that's probably the goal that many people will need to hear. So thank you for that.
I've actually drawn up, and I'll share this with you, a quadrant. This is my thinking of where I fit. Am I a business coach? Am I a mentor? So I drew up this quadrant, not quite finished the thinking yet. Down in the bottom left is, sign up with me and you'll get you'll be turning over $300,000 next month. I'm up in the top right. I put myself up in the top right where I do have the tools and I do have the experience and I do have the programs and the quizzes and the whatever, but I'm not afraid to say there's a bit of hard work involved in this.
It's so important, isn't it? The old overnight success story to me is so rare, and yet our little monkey brains want to hang on to those instead of looking at the reality.
What was that Stephen Bradbury quote? It took me 12 years or however long it was to be an overnight success.
Yes, get lucky, all the things. That's right. So, yeah, no, I think I've seen enough of what you do to know that you are the real deal, and I appreciate your time today on The Jo Show. Thank you for taking a punt by coming and giving some time to this fledgling podcast.
My absolute pleasure, Jo. Always up for a chat with you.
And I will definitely put the links to everything in the description so that people can contact you and get those big contracts instead of wondering how to, get on it. So thank you.
Do these what I call up sessions, which is 90 minutes. It's unpack and prioritize. So that's probably a good way for people to there's no obligation to continue working with me, to sign up with me. It's a 90-minute session to literally unpack and prioritize. I give you a whole heap of questions before we talk, so that way I can deliver something to you in that 90 minutes that you can take away and start to work.
That's a fantastic step. So get the books and then book in with Bronwyn and have a chat. Thank you so much, Bronwyn.
A fabulous day, Jo.
You too.